I remember the exact second my heart learned to break. It was a Tuesday, 3:17 in the afternoon, and I was holding a blueberry muffin I wasn't going to eat. Her name was Lily, and she entered my life like a sneeze, completely unexpected and impossible to stop. I met her at a coffee shop downtown. The kind of place with mismatched chairs and music that sounds better than it has any right to. I was there pretending to work on my laptop, but really I was just scrolling through the internet and judging other people's drink orders. Then she walked in. She was wearing this oversized yellow sweater that made her look like a happy sunflower. Her hair was a mess, like she had just wrestled with her pillow and lost. And she was arguing with the barista about whether oat milk was actually milk or just expensive juice. "Sir," the barista said to me, "can you please settle this? Is oat milk real milk?" I looked at this woman. This beautiful, chaotic woman with oatmeal opinions. And I said the stupidest thing possible. "I don't know, but I once tried almond milk and I felt like I was drinking liquid almonds, which felt wrong." She laughed. Actually laughed. Not the polite kind of laugh people give you when they feel sorry for you. A real laugh. The kind that comes from somewhere deep and genuine. "I'm Lily," she said, extending her hand. "Jack," I said, wiping my coffee-stained hand on my pants first, which made it worse. And just like that, my life changed. We sat together for 3 hours that day. 3 hours. I missed a meeting. I missed a phone call from my mother. I missed my chance to buy the last blueberry muffin, which she ate while telling me about her job teaching art to children. "The kids are better artists than me," she said, muffin crumbs falling onto her yellow sweater. "Last week, a 5-year-old told me my drawing of a cat looked like a potato with ears. He wasn't wrong." I told her about my boring office job. About how I pushed papers and attended meetings that could have been emails. About how every day felt the same until this very moment. "You make it sound like I rescued you from something," she said. "Maybe you did," I said, and immediately felt like the cheesiest person alive. But she just smiled. That smile. God, that smile. For the next few months, we were inseparable. We became one of those annoying couples that everyone secretly hates. You know the type. Holding hands in grocery stores. Finishing each other's sentences. Making up silly songs about our cat, even though either of us had a cat. We did have a plant though. A small succulent we named Gerald. Lily talked to Gerald every morning. "Good morning, Gerald," she'd say in this high-pitched voice. "Don't die today, okay? Jack would be sad if you died." I would watch her from the bed, my eyes barely open, and think, this is it. This is what people write songs about. Our dates were simple. We couldn't afford fancy restaurants. So we made pizza at home and burned it every single time. We'd sit on her tiny balcony, eating charcoal disguised as food, and talk about our dreams. She wanted to open her own art studio someday. A place where kids could come and make messes and nobody would tell them to clean up. I wanted her. That was my only dream. "I want to travel," she said one night, looking at the stars that barely visible through the city lights. "I want to see the northern lights. I want to stand somewhere so cold that my eyelashes freeze." "I hate the cold," I said. She laughed. "I know. You wear a jacket when it's 60 degrees. 60 degrees is cold. That's practically freezing. 60 degrees is not freezing, you dramatic man." We had conversations like that. Silly arguments about temperature. Debates about which movie had the best soundtrack. Discussions about whether cereal was a soup. She said yes, I said no, we agreed to disagree. These were the moments I thought would last forever. But forever has a funny way of ending. It started small. Little things. She got busy with her art classes. I got busy with work projects that suddenly mattered more than they should have. Our phone calls went from every day to every few days. Our texts became shorter. Less emojis. Fewer inside jokes. I didn't notice at first. Or maybe I noticed and pretended I didn't. One night she came over. She looked tired. Not the good kind of tired after a fun day. The heavy kind. The kind that sits in your bones. "We need to talk," she said. Those 4 words. The most terrifying words in the English language. Worse than, "I have cancer." Worse than, "Your car needs expensive repairs." Worse than, "The internet is down. We need to talk." I made us tea. Chamomile, her favorite. I put honey in it the way she liked. I did all these small things hoping they would change what was coming. But you can't sweeten bitter news with honey. "I love you," she said. And I waited for the, "But I love you, Jack. But I'm not happy." Those words didn't make sense together. How could she love me and not be happy? Wasn't I supposed to be the reason for her happiness? Wasn't that the deal? "I don't know who I am anymore," she continued, holding her tea but not drinking it. "I'm 28 years old and I feel like I've been playing a role. The girlfriend. The art teacher. The girl who laughs at your jokes. But somewhere along the way, I lost myself. I wanted to say something smart. Something that would fix everything. But my brain had left the building. It was somewhere far away, probably also drinking tea and wondering what went wrong. "Is there someone else?" I asked. The stupidest question. The question insecure people ask when they don't know what else to say. "No," she said, and I believed her. "There's no one else. That's the problem. There's barely even me." She explained it as best she could. She needed to find herself. She needed to be alone. She needed to figure out what she wanted from life without being part of a we. I listened. What else could I do? "When did you decide this?" I asked. "I didn't decide it. It just became true. Like how you don't decide to grow older. One day you just look in the mirror and realize you're not the same person anymore." We sat in silence for what felt like hours. The tea got cold. The sun went down. The city noises faded into background static. Finally, she stood up. "I should go." "Don't," I said. The word came out smaller than I intended. Like a child asking for one more story before bed. "I have to." She walked to the door. Put her hand on the handle. Paused. "I'll always remember you, Jack," she said without turning around. "No matter what happens, no matter where I go. I'll always remember you." Then she left. And I sat there. Alone. With 2 cold cups of tea and a heart that suddenly felt too heavy for my chest. The days after were the hardest. You know that feeling when you lose something important? Your phone, your wallet, your keys. That panic-searching feeling. The way your stomach drops when you realize it's really gone. Now imagine feeling that about a person. About every part of your daily life that suddenly has a hole in it. I woke up reaching for her side of the bed. It was empty. Cold. I made coffee, 2 cups by habit, and had to pour one down the sink. I heard songs on the radio that reminded me of her. Everything reminded me of her. The color yellow. Blueberry muffins. Terrible drawings of cats. My friends tried to help. They took me to bars. They set me up on dates I wasn't ready for. They told me to get back out there, like I was a baseball player who had struck out. "It's been 3 months, man," my friend Dave said. "You need to move on." "Thanks, Dave. I'm cured now. I'm just saying. Don't. Just don't." I know they meant well. But you can't rush grief. You can't schedule heartbreak like a dentist appointment. It takes as long as it takes. Some nights I would lie in bed and replay our conversations in my head. The good ones. The silly ones. The fights we had about stupid things like whether pineapple belongs on pizza. She said yes, I said no, and honestly, I still think I was right about that one. I thought about the time she tried to teach me to paint. I was terrible. Absolutely hopeless. My trees looked like green blobs. My people looked like aliens. But she just laughed and said, "Abstract. Very avant-garde." "I don't know what that means," I said. "Me either. But it sounds good, right?" Those were the moments I miss most. Not the big romantic gestures. Not the dramatic declarations of love. Just the quiet moments. The everyday moments. The moments that made up a life together. And then, something happened. 6 months after she left, I got a letter. Yes, an actual letter. Paper. Envelope. Stamp. The whole thing. It was from Lily. I stared at it for 10 minutes before opening it. What if it was bad news? What if she was getting married? What if she wanted me to send her stuff back? What if? I opened it. "Dear Jack," it began. Her handwriting was messy, just like her hair had been that first day. "I know it's been a long time. I hope you're doing okay. I'm writing because I have something to tell you. Something important. I'm coming back to town next month. Just for a visit. And I was hoping maybe we could talk? No pressure. No expectations. Just two old friends having coffee. If you want. If you don't, I understand. Either way, I'll always remember you. Love, Lily." I read it 3 times. 4 times. 10 times. She was coming back. She wanted to see me. My heart did something complicated. Part of it jumped with joy. Part of it clenched with fear. Part of it just felt confused, like it didn't know how to feel anymore. I wrote back. Short and simple. "Coffee sounds good. Same place?" She agreed. The day before we were supposed to meet, I couldn't sleep. I tried everything. Warm milk. Counting sheep. Boring podcasts about history. Nothing worked. My brain kept asking questions. Would she look the same? Would she be happy? Would she have someone new? Would I be able to handle it if she did? I thought about canceling. Texting her and saying, "Sorry, something came up." But something had come up. 6 months ago. And her name was Lily. So I went. The coffee shop looked exactly the same. Same mismatched chairs. Same overly complicated music. Same barista arguing with customers about milk. I ordered a coffee and a blueberry muffin. 2 muffins, actually. One for me, one for her. Just in case. Then I waited. 5 minutes. 10 minutes. 15 minutes. I started to panic. What if she changed her mind? What if this was some kind of joke? What if? The door opened. And there she was. She looked different. Not in a bad way. Just different. Her hair was shorter. She wasn't wearing yellow. She looked older somehow. Not old, just older. Like she had lived 6 months of life that I hadn't been part of. "Jack," she said. "Lily." We stood there for a moment, either of us sure what to do. Hug? Handshake? Awkward nod? We settled on a hug that was too long to be casual but too short to be romantic. "You look good," she said. "You too." We sat down. I pushed a muffin toward her. "You remembered," she said, smiling. "I remember everything." That might have been too much. Too soon. But she didn't seem to mind. For the next hour, we talked. Really talked. Not about us, not at first. About her travels. About the art studio she finally opened in a different city. About my job, which was still boring but now came with a slightly better title. She told me about the northern lights. She actually saw them. Drove all the way to Alaska with a friend and stood in the freezing cold, her eyelashes freezing just like she wanted. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, she said. But I kept thinking. I kept wishing you were there to see it too. That hung in the air between us. I hated the cold, I said, trying to lighten the mood. I know. You would have complained the whole time. Probably. But I would have liked having you there anyway. Silence. The kind of silence that isn't empty. The kind that's full of things unsaid. Why did you want to see me? I finally asked. She played with her muffin, pulling off tiny pieces and rolling them into balls. Because I needed to apologize. For what? For leaving the way I did. For not explaining better. For making you feel like you weren't enough when the truth is, you were too much. Too good. Too kind. Too perfect. And I wasn't ready for that. I didn't know what to say. I had imagined this conversation so many times. In my head, I was always ready with the perfect response. But now, sitting here with her, my mind was blank. I spent 6 months finding myself. She continued. And you know what I found? What? Someone who still loves you. My heart stopped. Literally stopped. I'm pretty sure I died for a second. Lily, Wait, let me finish. I'm not saying we should get back together. I'm not saying everything is fixed. I'm just saying, I want you to know, I never stopped loving you. I needed to find me first. And now I have. And part of that me is someone who still loves Jack. Who will always love Jack. She reached across the table and took my hand. I don't know what happens next, she said. I don't know if we can try again, or if too much time has passed, or if we're different people now. But I know that I had to come back and tell you. Because some people aren't meant to be forgotten. Some people stay with you forever. I looked at her. Really looked at her. This woman who had broken my heart, and then spent 6 months putting hers back together. This woman who had the courage to come back and be honest, even when honesty was hard. I spent 6 months being sad. I said. 6 months missing you. 6 months wishing things were different. And you know what I learned? What? That I'd do it all again. The pain, the heartbreak, the lonely nights. I'd do it all again if it meant I got to have those years with you. Because loving you, even when it hurt, was the best thing that ever happened to me. She squeezed my hand. So what now? She asked. Now we finish these muffins. And then we talk. And then we see what happens. No pressure. No expectations. Just two people who love each other, figuring it out one day at a time. She smiled. That smile. The one I'd been missing for 6 months. That sounds perfect, she said. And for the first time in a long time, I believed her. We didn't get back together that day. Or the next day. Or even the next week. We took it slow. We dated again, but differently this time. More carefully. More honestly. We talked about everything, the good, the bad, the scary. We learned that love isn't about finding someone who completes you. It's about finding someone who accepts you incomplete. Who stays while you figure yourself out. Who remembers you, even when you're not together. Lily moved back to town 6 months later. Not for me, she said. For herself. She wanted to be here. And I happened to be part of the package. Today, we have a small apartment with a balcony. We still burn pizza. We still argue about silly things. We have a cat now, not a plant. His name is not Gerald. And every night, before we go to sleep, she looks at me and says, I'll always remember you, Jack. And I say, I'll always remember you too, Lily. Because that's the thing about real love. It doesn't end. It changes. It grows. It hurts sometimes. But it never really goes away. You carry it with you. In the way you make your coffee. In the songs you can't listen to without smiling. In the quiet moments when you think about someone who shaped who you became. I'll always remember her. The girl in the yellow sweater who argued about oat milk. The woman who broke my heart and then helped me put it back together. The person who taught me that love isn't about avoiding pain, it's about finding someone worth hurting for. And maybe that's the point of all this. Maybe the people we lose aren't really lost. They're just changed. They become part of our story. Part of who we are. They live in our memories, in our hearts, in the person we become after loving them. So if you're hurting right now, if you're missing someone, if you're wondering if the pain will ever end, just remember, it will. Not today, maybe not tomorrow, but someday. And when it does, you'll realize something. You'll realize that loving them was worth it. That the memories, even the sad ones, are precious. That some people leave footprints on your heart that never wash away. I'm Jack. And this was my story. I'll always remember her.